Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now we're going to touch on the finer points of editing. So this is the window we had open before, and we have this small video we made. I want to add some transitions, titles, we'll do maps and backgrounds, and also sound effects. And eventually I'll show you some iTunes stuff and free music on YouTube, which is really excellent. So first, let's add a transition. Now a transition basically allows you to go to that screen to change between cuts. So let's see, what I mean is, for example, let's look at this cross dissolve here, and I'm going to click it. I'm going to pull it between a clip. Now when I pull it between a clip, you see how it changed? Here's a black bar, and here now we have two arrows facing each other. So that's a cross dissolve. Now let's watch it actually happen in the screen on the top right. Okay, now if you notice, what it basically did is it dissolved the frame into the other frame. It may be hard to see, so let's look at something else. And let's do circle, so you can really see the transition. So I'm going to pull this down between the clips. I'm going to place it there, and I'm going to play. So you get an idea, and these are beneficial. I usually use the cross dissolve only. I've never used anything else. Some people like to use puzzles or ripples or page curl, and if you scroll over, you can see what it looks like. So basically, what this means, this preview window, is that this first shot with the trees will be the shot to the left, the shot that you're transitioning from. And when you scroll to the right, that's the shot you're transitioning to. Okay? So let's look at that again. So now to get rid of this bottom transition, I'm going to click on it and hit delete. I'm going to choose this page curl right. And remember, so the trees are the shot I'm transitioning from, and the blue background, the landscape, is a shot I'm transitioning to. I'm going to pull that down. And now let's look at this. Okay, so that's basically a transition. I'm not going to use any transitions, but you may want to use them, so it's something that you should be aware of. And remember, the transitions are down here in the content library. Let me show you one thing. What you may see is this. You may see no content library, no transitions. Now what you have to do up here on the top left is click this small button here. It says show or hide the libraries list. Let's click that, and now we have our content library, so we can find transitions. Next thing I want to do is titles. We're going to click titles, and here are a bunch of titles. Once again, to look at the titles, you can scrub through the titles and you can see what they look like, what happens. So some titles are animated, like this title. We have the expanding title, we have the expanded lower third title, the reveal title. We have, many different titles, prism titles. So let's use the prism title, and I'm going to click it and pull it to where I want it. So I'm going to pull it. I can have it on top, or I can have it in front. I'm going to pull it in front first. And now you see, so and that's the title. We want to change the text. What we're going to do to change the text, we're going to double click on it, and now that brings up a few options of, you can edit, you can do left and right justify, bold, you can do italics, you can outline the text. So we're just going to keep it bold, and we can choose font as well. So here I'm just going to write Getting Up, and that's the title I'm going to choose. So now let's watch it. Let's go back, scroll back. We're going to play it. Getting Up, and now it will transition. 2, 1, action. So that's the basic title. Now let's say I want to shorten the length of this title. So you can see here how long it is. This title is 4 seconds. So now you see when I go to the left and right side of the clip how my cursor changes. It has a left and right arrow with a straight bar, a straight vertical bar. So that means you can edit the length of the clip when I get to either side. So I'm going to go to the right side, and I'm going to pull it to the left. Now you see how it's shortening the clip? I just want a 2.5 second title. So now it's only 2.5 seconds. I'm going to bring it back, click here. Now it's a 2.5 second title. So once again, I don't really want a title, but I just wanted to show you the title options. Now let me show you the second option of having a title on top of the actual video. Now I'm going to pull it up over the video. You see how it changes? If it's in front, it actually is a large bar. It becomes a large rectangle, and it's a black background. Now if I pull it up on top, it will change to a translucent background, meaning that I'll be able to see the video behind it. All right, so now I'm going to play that. 2, 1, action. And you can see Getting Up. And once again, I'm going to change the length just to make it longer for the whole clip. And that's what I did, is I waited till my cursor changed to the vertical bar, left and right arrow, and then pulled it. Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning. 2, 1, action. Now I want to show you something very important. If you're doing an interview type of videos or anything where someone's talking, you want to put their name. Usually you don't do this type of name. You won't put it in front of them. What you usually do, I'm going to click this and hit delete. You usually do something called lower thirds. Now lower thirds is a pretty common way to show people's names in newscasts or documentaries. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to pull it down on top of the clip here, getting up clip, or Aurelio getting out of the seat. I'm going to shorten this a little bit. And now, so you see it's in the lower left right here. So I'm going to double click that. I'm just going to write this man.
2, 1, action.
And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to change the color of the text. I want it maybe black or a darker color. So I'm going to go up to the top right, and here we have a few options. We have, as I said, font. We have the size of the font. We have justify, bold, italics, and we have outline. I'm going to change the selected text color. I want that to be black. Okay? So let's go back, hit X on this, and now let's look at it again.
2, 1, action.
So maybe it's hard to see there. I may go back to white. But you can play around with it and get the idea of what you want, whatever works for you. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. I don't want a title in there. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to show you maps and backgrounds. So this is cool if you want to do something about traveling or whatever it is. So and as I said, we can scrub through to see what we're actually going to do. So as I scrub through, I see a few options: old world maps, watercolor maps, educational maps. I'm just going to choose this old world globe. I'm going to pull it down in front of Aurelio's clip getting up. And now you see it starts in San Francisco, but we're not in San Francisco, right? We're in Camden, New Jersey now. So we have to change that. And we also, let's say we want to go to somewhere else. We'll go to Japan or something, or Tokyo. I'm going to double click this, and now it brings up a different menu on the top of the screen here. So let's say from, we're going to do from, click that and write in Camden, New Jersey. We'll hit done. And we're going to go to, let's say, Tokyo. And we'll go to just Tokyo, Japan. Or we'll go to Tokyo Disneyland. I've never been there, but apparently it's pretty good. So Tokyo Disneyland. Now we're going to play this clip. So this story basically is now Aurelio is getting out of his chair and walking outside to go to Tokyo Disneyland from Camden, New Jersey. So that's how we use the map feature. Once again, going to Tokyo. Amazing. Okay, now we're going to delete this. I don't want this either. Now, iTunes. So let's say you have some songs on your iTunes library you want to add to your track here. I know I have some songs. So let's say, for example, I want to add a nice music track. So I'm going to choose. I have a lot of playlists, so I know what playlist I want. I have a YouTube audio library playlist. And let's say, for example, what song do I want? Let's say Spring in My Step. And here this little play arrow means you can actually preview the music. So I'm going to click this. So I know what that sounds like. Now I'm going to click it. I'm going to bring it down. And I can choose where I want it. I'm going to put it to the beginning and let it go. Now basically I have music. Let's play this.
2, 1, action.
Okay, but the one thing I don't want is 3, 2, 1 action. So I want you to look at this clip now. You see the blue? That's the audio that was recorded by the flip camera. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring this down and mute the audio. So now when I scroll around, do you see how my cursor becomes an up and down arrow? I'm going to click and I'm going to pull down. And you can see here you can actually change the volume to 400% or 0. That's going to go back down to 0. I'm going to do this for every clip here in the timeline. So go down to 0, going down to 0, click, going down to 0. Okay, now let's play it again. Okay, now also this is too long. So what I'm going to do, actually really long, so I'm going to make my timeline longer because I want to see more. So I'm going to go up here to the top right. I'm going to zoom out to see the whole audio clip. I'm going to go to the end of the audio clip. Now I have this vertical bar, left and right arrow. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag. There we go. So now it's basically the size of the clip. And I'm going to go back. Now I can export this if I want, but I'm going to show you how to add a sound effect as well. Okay, so now I don't want this in my track, but it's something you can put in eventually and maybe very beneficial for some nice audio. Okay, so I'm going to delete this, click and delete. I want to put some sound effects in. Okay, so the first sound effect I think I maybe want, let's see. Here, and there's thousands of sound effects. As I said, I went to the content library, sound effects. Now, if you know a specific sound effect you want, you can actually just go to the top right here, and you can click and you can search for your sound effect. So I know I want a crowd, children. Okay, so let's preview that. Okay, the reason I'm doing this, we actually work in an after-school program here, so I want that background audio to be there. I just pulled it down. I'm going to put it at the beginning of the playhead, beginning of the timeline here, and click play. Okay, so now we have some background audio. The next thing I want, let's get a doorbell. So he has a reason to get up. I want to write doorbell, and let's see. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. He's going to get up because of that doorbell. So I'm going to click that, pull that down. Now the cool thing is I didn't let it go yet. I'm holding the cursor. I'm clicked and I'm moving it around to see where I want it. So I want him maybe just before he gets up to hear it. Okay, so I'm going to let it go there. Put it to the beginning. And he gets up. Maybe a little bit before. So I'm going to click it and pull it a little bit before. He needs some time to respond. Okay, so he got up for a reason. Goes over. Now let's get some funny audio in here. So let's see, what can I choose? Maybe we'll do, I know there's a cartoon. It's cartoon accent. I like 7. Okay, so for some reason when he opens the door he sees a turkey. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down. And I'm going to put that maybe right there. And some of this I don't want, right? So I'm going to go to the right side and I'm going to trim it. And now I'm going to go and listen. Okay, and one thing I want to lower the volume of this crowd children a little bit. Let's lower it down to maybe we can do 45%. Okay, and one more thing I talked about before. I want to pull this child background noise or the sound down to the end of the clip. Okay, let's watch it from the beginning. Excellent. One thing I do want to put actually, maybe let's put a door opening. Let's do that. Let's see, a door open. And we can just search through here which one we want. I'm just going to type in open actually. Okay. We can just put that here. Let's see. Okay, put that there. Now let's play it again. Maybe pull a little bit before. Actually, no, we can maybe put this between both, because this sounds like it's actually a doorknob turning as well. And let's play it from the beginning. Okay, so now that's the basic clip. Now the last thing I want to show you down here is GarageBand. So if you made any songs in GarageBand, you can do the same thing. You'll have them up here, you can pull them down and add them to your timeline. So that's basically it. Now, the last thing you're able to do, you can share it. So if you want to export it somewhere, we can do Theater, email, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, CNN iReport, image, file. I'm actually just going to export it as a file so I can have it on my desktop and keep it for later. And you can choose, you have the resolution here. I'm going to do 1280 by 720 because that's what the flip cam records at. High quality. I'm going to unclick Add to Theater. If you want to keep it viewable and you open your iMovie, you want to be able to see it, you can keep that clicked. I'm going to unclick it and just hit Next. I want it on my desktop, so I'm going to click this arrow, go down the desktop. I'm just going to hit Save. And that's basically it. So that's how you export a video. It's successfully exported. I'm going to go back. I'm going to minimize this. And we have here is the video I was talking about. Let's double click this, make sure. Okay, and that's the end of the video.